Hello Year 6 and welcome to Thursday support video. The main learning objective for today's lesson is to be dividing decimals by whole numbers, or the posh way of saying that is integers. But I think it's a really good idea that if you're not feeling 100% confident with dealing with decimals, that we take a step back and we make sure that we're really secure in division with whole numbers first. So in this video, we're going to explore some examples using short division together, and then, like always, as soon as you're feeling confident that you know how to use the skill, then move yourself onto the white rose sheet and have a go at tackling the decimals one there as well. And as a little hint, you probably have done some of this before when we looked at some money problems. You just didn't think too much about it being decimals then, because it's something that you're used to using every day. So let's start with some questions to get you warmed up. You can see there's some questions on the screen, and these ones use your multiplication and division facts more than any kind of written method, because most of these should be within your times tables knowledge and just using your knowledge of multiplying by 10 and 100 and all of that. So pause the video and have a go, and we shall go through the questions shortly. Okay, so if we have a look at the first question, question 1, 48 divided by 4, we know in our 4 times table that 12 lots of 4 make 48, so the answer to that one would be 12. And on the next one, 480 divided by 4, well, we can use our knowledge of 48 divided by 4, which we've just done above, but this time it's got 10 times bigger, so our answer will be 120. That would have got 10 times bigger as well. And in 72 divided by 9, you might be like me and having a quick look on your fingers, but our times tables knowledge tells us that there are 8 groups once we've done 72 divided by 9. And last but not least, question 4, something divided by 9 is 800. So actually we can use the fact above there. So we knew above that we had 72 made, when it's divided by 9, produced 8. But this time 72 will need to get 100 times bigger because it was 800, not 8. So the missing number there, 7,200. So hopefully that's warmed your brain up a little bit. And we'll have a little look at division, but using short division. So here's a question for you. There are 4,884 crayons and they come in packs of 4. So how many packs are there? So what are we really doing here? As you might have been able to tell, given what we're doing today, we are doing a division. Now, how could we solve these? Well, we could start drawing them, but we're going to be here for a very long time, aren't we? I don't know about you, I don't really have the time to draw 4,884 crayons. So, what else can we do? Well, we could use counters, but I don't want to be counting 4,884 counters either, to be honest, thank you very much. So what we can do is we can use counters in a slightly different way if we use them in the place value column. So instead of counting out 4,000 counters, we can get our place value headings and put 4 of them in the thousands column. What we're going to do is use these counters in a different way, and we're going to show it alongside the short division that you can see there. So we can see what's going on with the counters and we can see what's going on with the short division. So there's our little short division, a bus stop, some of you might call it. So here is our dividend, 4,884. That's just the posh way of saying the number that we're going to be splitting up or dividing. And waiting patiently outside the bus stop is our 4, what we would call the divisor, what we are going to divide that number by. So if we build our number then, 4,884, we can build it in counters. You can see I've got 4 in the thousands column, 8 in the hundreds, and 8 in the tens, and 4 in the ones. So what we're going to do now is start making groups of 4, because that's what dividing by 4 means. It's how many groups of 4. Now, when we do division, we actually start with the largest place value column, because if we've got any left over, we can exchange those for a smaller place value column, but we'll explore that one in a minute. So in our thousands, you can see how many groups of 4 can I make from my 4,000s? Well, we can make 1. So we're going to write that above the 4. You can see that appear there in my thousands, in my bus stop. And then we're going to move on and have a look at how many groups of 4 can we make in our hundreds. You can see we've got 8 counters there. How many groups of 4 can we make? We can make 2 groups of 4. So I'm just going to pop that above my 8 there, my 800. I can make 2 groups. And then you can see the tens column, that's got 8 counters too. So we're just going to get the same thing happen there. So that's also 2. And in the ones, we had a look at that before. You can just make 1 group of 4 there. So we're going to pop that above the 4 there. So using short division or the place value counters to help us actually much more efficient, I'm sure you'll agree, than drawing out 4,884 crayons. And we can see that if we divided the 4,884 crayons into groups of 4, we would get 1,222. 22. Not even reading my own calculation there, am I? 1,221. So we'd have 1,221 packs. So using that method there, I've given you a new calculation here, 9,306 divided by 3. You might notice this is quite a nice one to have a go at, because if you notice your factors and multiples knowledge there, all of the numbers you can see are going to be multiples of 3. Just think very carefully about what happens if you can't make a group of 3 and how you're going to show that and maintain place value. So I'm just going to pop the counters on for you, if those will help you have a go. Pause the video and see if you can work out the calculation, 9,306 divided by 3. Okay, so let's have a go at this one together. This time, our dividend, the number we're dividing is 9,306, and we're going to be dividing that by 3. 3 is our divisor, so that's the size of the groups we're trying to create here. So let's start off in our thousands. How many groups of 3 can we make? There you go. They make a nice little L shape, and you can see we can make 3 groups of 3 there. And so we're going to write that above our 9,000. Then have a look in our hundreds. We can make 1 group of 3. So I'm going to write that over my 3 there. Now, when we get to the tens, it's quite interesting because there's no counters there. So I can't make any groups of 3. But it's really important to write that in to show that we couldn't make any groups of 3 in our tens, but we're now going to try on our ones. If we don't put that 0 there, it will change the place value because it will make our ones look like they've shifted a little bit up into our tens. So we need to be really careful with that. Now let's have a look at our ones. How many groups of 3 can we make? There we go, 2 groups of 3. So we pop that on the end. So the answer to our calculation, 9,306 divided by 3, 3,102. But really important to put that 0 as placeholder in there. So here's another one for you. 4,324 divided by 2. Now this one's slightly different. You might notice some of you might be really good at halving and Miss Halves. I don't need to do this. But let's have a look at what happens. You might notice why we've chosen this example for you. So let's put our short division or our bus stop up. There's our dividend, 4,324. And we're going to divide that by 2. Here are our counters, and let's start in our thousands then and see how many groups of 2 we can make. There's 1, there's 2. Let's write that above our 4. Now, when we come to our hundreds, you can see we could make 1 group of 2 there, but we've got 100 left over that we couldn't put into a group of 2. So what we're going to need to do is take that 100 and do something with it. So we're going to record above the 3 that we could make 1 group of 2, but we've got this little 100 left over that we can't put into a group of 2. So we're going to take that one and exchange it for 10 tens. And we need to show that in our calculation as well, in our short division. So we just show it as a little 1 next to the 2 there, showing that now we've got 12 tens instead of 2, where we've exchanged that 100 that was left over. And now we can do the same thing. How many groups of 2 can we make from our 12 tens? Well, we can make 6 of them. So we're going to write that above our tens, our 12 tens there. And then we come to our ones at the end. How many groups of 2 can we make from our 4 ones? There's 1, there's 2, and we're going to write that above our 4 ones. So you may realise we chose this example for you because we had to do a little bit of exchanging. So we had to exchange one of our hundreds that we couldn't put into a group of 2 for 10 tens. So here's another little one for you here. We've got 6,115 divided by 5. So just pause the video, have a little think for yourself, see if you can calculate this one. I'll leave the counters on there for you and I'll leave the short division there. Pause the video, have a go, and then we'll go through it together. Okay, so let's have a little look. Let's start with our thousands then, and we can see that our dividend, the number we're dividing by, is 6,115, and we're dividing that by 5. 5 is our divisor, so that's the size of the groups we're trying to make. So in our thousands, we can make 1 group of 5, but you can see again we've got that 1,000 left over that we can't put into a group of 5. So we're going to show the 1 group of 5 that we could make in our thousands. And now we're going to exchange that 1,000 that was left over for 10 hundreds, you guessed it. Now we need to show that in our short division as well. So we're just showing there that we have exchanged that 1,000 over to our hundreds, and now we've got 11 hundreds. So let's see how many groups of 5 we can make. There is 1, there is 2, and oh, we've got one left over again. So let's do the same thing. Let's record those 2 groups of 5 that we could make in our hundreds over the top there on our calculation, and let's exchange that 100 and exchange that for 10 tens. So we need to show this again, and you'll notice it's the same pattern that we just had in the previous column. We now have 11 in our tens where we've exchanged that one, and now we can try and make groups of 5, and you'll notice we're going to get the same answer, aren't we? Because now we've got 11 counters here as well, so we can make 2 groups of 5 with 1 left over. So let's exchange that 110 for 10 ones. Oh, it's going to get full in there now. And we also need to show that on our short division. So we've now have 15 ones over there. And let's see how many groups we can make. There's 1 group of 5, 2 groups of 5, and 3 groups of 5. And we write that in to finish it off. So our 6,115 divided by 5, our answer was 1,223. So hopefully that's been helpful for you. And it's really helped you to understand short division and go, oh yeah, I remember that one now. And it's built up your confidence a little bit. So it's up to you what you choose to do now. You could go and have a look at the main white rows task where you can apply that to decimals, but the same thing happens. All you have to do is think about the place value and remembering where the decimal point is in the dividend, the number you're dividing, and make sure that you put that into your answer. But if you're not feeling very confident, and you still like a little bit more practice, I can just show you. Here are the support tasks for today. Ooh, I'm running it off the screen there. So it works very much like the ones that we just did in the video, and it builds up in 3 stages for you. The first one, you've got some counters to help you as well. So this first question here is 3,936 divided by 3, and you can just start grouping the 3s there to help you work out that answer, and you fill in the answers there. So there's 1 group of 3 in the thousands. Then how many groups of 3 can you make in the hundreds? I'm not going to tell you the answer, but that's how you work that one out. And then for the rest of the questions, you can draw those counters out to help you, so you can group them if you want to. And for question 2, they've already helped you with this one, so they've shown you where some exchanges are, but you can see in question 2 you're going to get some exchanges, but they've already shown you on the place value chart when they've exchanged 100 for 10 tens and when they've exchanged 110 for 10 ones. But you will need to show that on your written calculations here. So that's what question 2 looks like. They haven't been as generous on part B. You'll need to draw the counters in there for yourself, and part C if you want them to help you. And then part 3, guess what? All the help is gone. So there's no place value charts, there's no counters. But don't forget, we did show you there's that nice online resource called MathSpots. If you go and look at the manipulatives there, you can use the place value counters and move them around if they're helping you. So that's your support task today. And as soon as you're feeling confident, move on to the white rows ones and just think about it as money. That's what I always do when I'm doing division. But hopefully you found this video helpful. And good luck with not only this task, but with your white rows task today when you move on to that. So good luck and bye.